Hello, hello, hello. Greetings, Light It Up TV family. Welcome to another episode of Talk About It Tuesday. And listen, I'm so excited as usual because I have two wonderful guests that are joining us on this evening. And we are talking about music and the effects on our kindergarten through fifth grade children. So I want you to go ahead, let everyone know that we are live. Let everyone know we are live and to join us in on this wonderful discussion. All right, join us. If you are just coming in, say hello to me. Let me know who you are. Say hello to me and go ahead and share this video out. I'm going to do the same thing. All right, if you join us, say hello to me. Let me know who you are. Welcome to another episode of Talk About It Tuesday. Tonight, we are talking about music and the effects on our kindergarten through fifth grade children. I always like to give everyone about another 2 minutes to join in, a minute and a half now. Hey, how are you? Thank you for joining in. Thank you so much for joining in. If you share this video out, if you're just joining me, say hello. Let me know who you are. All right, I want to know how many of you all actually caught the Find Your Voice Friday or had a chance to look at the Find Your Voice Friday with the kids. Aren't they doing such a great job? On Friday, we actually talked about bullying and bullying awareness. And oh my goodness, they did such a great job. Our kid co-hosts are really doing a wonderful job with sharing their ideas and their thoughts and their feelings. So listen, if you have been missing it, it's for the whole family, but you can tune in to Find Your Voice Fridays and catch our last episode on YouTube, on our YouTube channel. Yes. So if you are just joining, let me know who you are. All right. That is about our time. All right. Hello. If you are just joining, please let me know who you are. Say hello to us. Don't be shy. Listen, we are here. Talk About It Tuesdays. That's the time where we have real raw discussions about anything surrounding our kindergarten through fifth grade children, the challenges, the accomplishments, anything. So tonight we have a great topic, and we are talking about music and the effects on our kindergarten through fifth grade children. All right. The effects of music on our children, K through fifth grade. And listen, this is a good one. We know I hope that we'll be able to have a discussion on what are some of those positive things. Why is it that music is positive? And we have some, and then what are the negative aspects? Some of it are maybe pretty obvious, but let's dive in and dig in a little bit more about this topic. So thank you for joining us. And I have two amazing guests that are here to talk to us about our topic. And that is none other than the one we've had before, Minister Jermaine Easterwood and Whitney Weston. Yes. Hello. How's it going? Whitney, I can't hear you.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Hey, everybody.
Man, we can't. Are you there? No, we can't hear you.
Okay. I'm here. All right.
We're in there.
There you go. We're there now. All right. Wonderful. How's it been going?
Cannot complain. Awesome.
Same here.
Okay. Well, I want to say thank you all so much for taking the time out to listen. I know you all are going to share with our audience what you all do, just to give them, Minister Jermaine, you've been on, sir. You're no stranger to Light It Up TV. But just to refresh anyone that's just watching what it is that you do. Whitney, our director, I've known you both for such a long time. But Whitney, yes, I'm not even going to spoil it for them. I'm going to let you all tell them about yourselves and what is it that you do. And all right, so take it away. Whitney, you want to go first?
Okay, well, very simple. Music educator for 22 years / entrepreneur now for the past 6 or 7 years. And music has just surrounded my life. So that's it.
Yes. Now, Miss Whitney, now wait a second. What kind of entrepreneur? You have to give us a little bit more. Tell us about what.
Okay. I'm just trying to keep it simple because I can talk. So I'm an entrepreneur. I am the director of Puretone Vocal Arts Academy. We've been in running since 2016. We do voice, we do piano, we do camps, we help children discover their sound. And I'm gonna talk a little bit.
Yes. Help children discover their sound. And listen, if you all have not been to her page or seen some of the work that she's done, there it is right there on the screen. There it is. PuretoneAcademy.com, her website. Listen, the phone number to reach her. She is really wonderful in working with. I've seen plays that she's done. I've seen her teach piano lesson, all the good stuff. So that's what we want to make sure and put that plug in there. All right. And then thank you, Whitney. And then we have my brother, Minister Jermaine Easterwood. I've been calling him that way before he actually You're
right. You have.
Colin was already there. And he would tell me, since I ain't no minister, But you're actually a minister now.
Yes.
And I couldn't help it though. I just couldn't help it. Okay. So tell us, Minister Jermaine, about what you do. Tell us who you are, what you do.
Yeah. So like you mentioned, some minister, do ministry, work with young people, with some character development, career success development type things. And then also author. So wrote a book and have some other tools, but the main thing is working with people so they don't attach the emotional and or the hurts from their past, so they don't bring it to their present, so it won't affect their future.
Woo! Say that again. Say that.
So I help them to not attach past hurts or emotional stress to their present, so it don't sabotage or affect their future. Right. So yeah. So leave the past in the past.
Yeah, leave the past in the past. And let me tell y'all, you all, hi, John, thank you for joining us. Listen, for the ones that are just joining us, welcome to another episode of Talk About It Tuesday. Tonight, we have Minister Jermaine Easterwood, Whitney, Weston, director of Puretone Academy, that are on, and we are talking about the effects of music on our kindergarten through 5th grade children. What are the positive and negative effects of music on our K-5 children? And Ajada, this is going to be good. So I want you to chime in because you have taught music and everything. So yes. So listen, well, let's go ahead and dive on it. And thank you all so much. Let us know if you're just joining us. Say hello. Let us know who you are. Okay. Any questions that you have, if you're thinking about something, this is, like I said, this is a dialogue, real raw discussion. So we want you to, when we ask questions, we want you to respond in the chat, okay? Let us know. All right, so let's go ahead and I want us to talk about it. The two sides, the negative, the positive and the negative, but then also, right, there's the natural and the spiritual side where we talk about music on our kindergarten to 5th grade children. So let's start off by talking about the positive, right? And so Miss Whitney, and there is no, but I'm starting with you, but I want you as a music teacher, what can you tell us about the positive effects of music on our children? Okay. Now, before you answer, audience, I want you to think about it. What do you think are the positive effects of music on children? All right. What do you think are the positive effects of music on children? Okay. Go ahead as Ms. Whitney is going to share. I want you to, we're going to give like 30 seconds for you to start typing in the chat. I know sometimes there may be a little delay. So what I want to hear from you before she chimes in. What do you think the positive effects of music on our children are? What do you think they are? All right, Ms. Whitney, talk to us. Let us know as they are going to be commenting. Let us know.
Okay, so like I said, teaching 22 years, I have seen so many positive effects. Overall, just in my career as a music educator. And so in the classroom, and even outside of the classroom, I just going back to Puretone, I had the logo Discover Your Sound. Just had it. But in 2020, the Lord gave me the acronym for sound, SOUND. And it was strengths, opportunities, uniqueness, niche, and depth. And all 5 of those are the benefits.
Wow. Oh, I like that. I like that.
Strengths, it helps show it kids discover what they're good at and maybe what they're not so good at, things that are related to music and some things that are not related to music. Their opportunities, giving them so many opportunities to create, to express, to perform, to meet new people, to be in front of people. For you, their uniqueness, you talk about finding your voice. Well, they discover their voice sometimes, in music, they have the opportunity to do that. And then their niche, that belonging, that sense of, camaraderie and belonging. So that's another benefit. And the one that I love the most is their depth, meaning that music goes beyond just, the performance part, but it goes along with, hey, I have a gift. I have a God-given gift that I can give. I can serve my community with my gift. I can serve my family wherever I'm needed. And it, it brings about a sense of purpose. And so when I wrote those things down, as I heard, SOUND, these are benefits. These are the benefits I know I've witnessed as a teacher. And so I'm just so grateful that the Lord summed it up for me in that word sound. So yes.
I love that. I love that. And that is I love that because that is a simple way that you can remember what the positive what the benefits are. I see that Terrell Todd, as you were talking, he says some of the benefits is opens creativity, understanding of how your emotions can be properly engaged to making something beautiful. Wow. Yes. Wow. So open up emotions. Open up creativity and understanding of how your emotions can be properly engaged. Thank you, Terrell, for sharing. And if you're just joining us, I want you to share this video out. Share this video out so that people can join in. Whitney, you said one of the things that you were saying, you said they had the opportunity, that's sort of like what he was saying, to see what their strengths are. And then open up different opportunities. I had the opportunity to see one of your Puretone Academy children that's actually that's one of that you recommended, and he is one of our kids co-hosts. And I saw a video. Did you see that video that he did on bullying awareness? I don't know if you got to see that, Minister Jermaine, but man, that was did you see it?
I got to check it out.
Okay, you got to see it. That was a really good, and I was like, wow, you see, like you were saying, those gifts and talents. So Ajada says, love this topic. All right, helps with focus, learning, expression. I had ADHD as a child and didn't realize how important music was in school. Wow, my 5th grade teacher played music, gospel as we worked. The best. Oh, that is good. So thank you, Ajada. Thank you for sharing that. Wow. Because I play music every night now. I don't know if anyone's familiar with Deputy T Keys. Yes. And I play that every night now to go to sleep. When my granddaughter was in the hospital and she had surgery, I played the music whenever she was feeling anxiety, that we noticed that anxiety was there. I play the music. So definitely what you all was saying, Ajana, what you were saying with the ADHD and the understanding of the music. I want to read something. Well, let's see what else I want to say. I want you to give us some firsthand, like I think you talked about. Do you have any firsthand experience of things that you may have actually seen, like one-on-one, of how it changed any of the children that you have taught or you've been around? You can think about that. But I want to read something. One of the things as I went out in my research, and I was like, wow, this was interesting. And it says, and this was from the University of Southern California, and it said that musical experiences in childhood can actually accelerate brain development, particularly in the areas of language acquisition and reading skills. It says, according to the National Association of Music, learning to play an instrument can improve mathematical learning and even increase SAT scores.
Amen. Yes.
And I was like, wow. But then it went on and it said, and tell me if you all have heard any of this before, okay? Let me know, have you heard any of this information that it says music ignites all areas of child development and skills for school readiness, including intellectual, social, emotional, motor, language, and overall literacy. And I was like, wow. Like I knew music. I just knew it from my aspect of I love music. Like from a child, my parents told me that I would walk around the house singing. Like I love music, love singing. I just knew it, but I didn't know the actual science behind how the brain development and how it actually helps with child development. So, and I guess that would also depends on the type of music, right? So we'll get into that, right? So like I say, okay. So has anyone? I see Christina says, watching my nieces and nephews enjoy learning and being creative and free through music. It impacts all ages.
Yes,
I would agree with that. All ages, and that's one of the things that as I was reading. LaTroya said, I've heard this particularly with classical music. Yes, particularly with classical music. That was one of the things in my research, LaTroya, that I actually heard, particularly with classical music, was definitely one of the instruments with increasing the brain development. All right. So let's see.
I was going to say too. I was going to say, I don't want to interrupt, but also not just ages, like the ages, but what I've learned with teaching special needs students. I mean, even with learning capacities, you know what I'm saying? Like how it affects, children with autism, in the way they think, and they are capable of doing, and I've learned that having to include, with inclusion, having to include special needs in my class, I learned firsthand that, man, I mean, music crossed all boundaries. Yes. All boundaries. So yeah, I just wanted to throw that in there too.
And culture. Right? Yes. And culture, because one thing about it, we might not can't understand language, but music is, and it's something that I was reading. I can't remember about rhythm and beats, and it was something about that I was reading, because I'm always, whenever we're doing Talk About It Tuesdays, I'm always researching different just researching the topic. I see that LaTroy says, I've seen people put headphones on the belt. I have, on the belly. Yes. For expectant mothers. I have. Yes. I've heard about that, LaTroya. I have heard about that, and how even in the womb, I'm thinking both sides, y'all, even in the womb, how that, that the music can have an effect. Right.
Oh, yes.
Even in the womb. So, and Charity says, yes. And do y'all have any questions? If you have any questions, please drop them in the comment section. If you're just joining us, we're talking about the effects of music on our kindergarten through 5th grade children. And right now we're talking about the benefits. If you have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the chat. Charity says there are some studies that show some music can actually heal by releasing endorphins.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Wow.
Yes. I had a student, and I know we haven't gotten to the negative side, but I wanted to just say, this, I was in class, and this student is known, this young lady is known for all kinds of words coming out her mouth, all kinds of songs that are not appropriate. But I put on, we were singing and dancing to a song called Osifuni Mungu. And Osifuni Mungu actually is a song about God. And so all creatures worship God. And so we were doing the all men, all creatures, and we were doing the moves. And I remember her just out of the blue. She said, "Oh my gosh, I feel so much. I feel like," she was like, "I feel so powerful. Like I feel so like either peaceful or powerful." It was something, but it was just us singing something totally different from what she was listening to constantly. It was like, "Oh my gosh, I feel so good doing this," And I'm just sitting there like, "Thank you, Lord," And so it does do, music it hits places that we can't even express. We can't even really, Yeah.
And as you were talking, it's something, when I was reading how it says that, and this is going on both sides, that music is almost like telepathic. Or is that what they said? Or like what is it that we can track into time, right? And it said it's almost like the transport machine. It may not be word, but yes, where, and it says it's the closest thing to having that transport machine, because if you play a song, it can take you back to that very moment of where that may be good or that may be not good.
That's so
right.
True.
So if we play a song of something that like it was saying that it induces the emotions that was going on during that time, the memory of what was going on during that time. So that can be on both sides. So but I read that, and it was saying like it is the closest thing, to just having a time machine, just having a time machine, like a time machine. So you want to say something, Minister Jermaine? You okay?
No. I mean, I think what you guys are saying is spot on. Being on both on the positive and negative side. I mean, spiritually speaking, right? We know how Lucifer was made, right? The Bible talks about it in Ezekiel 28, and how he was made with pipes and tabrets, and so he was the covering cherub. And so if he was there and was made to worship God, and God put pipes in him, that means it must have been music has something to do with the worship. And music has something to do with the atmosphere. And so if he knows how to use it for worship, I'm sure he knows how to use it for idolatry too. And so we got to be careful, because there's a thin line with what happens with music. And I got a couple of things that maybe later, as we get into this, scriptural references of how music will kind of signify and point us to some things. And so I'll share that as we get a little deeper into it.
That's good. Thank you. That's good. All right, I see. Okay, so I'm gonna go. Ajada, this is really good. Ajada says, "I teach vocal lessons to autistic students, and they understand deep elements of music. Music is truly a universe." That's what the word I was looking for, Ajada. Universal language that can be healing. Yeah, especially, I think that's what Whitney was saying with the special needs population. And then, that's the song. Thank you, Christina, for listing the song. Yes. And what does that mean, Whitney, that song?
I remember the song, "All men, all creatures, everybody praise the Lord." Yes, Christina, she knows that song.
Okay.
She helped choreograph that song, and I took it into school. I actually taught the
Wow.
kids there. They didn't know. They didn't have to
They
know.
didn't
And it
even
was
know
it was
what
a
they.
choral piece. It was a choral piece.
Yeah.
And so she was like, I feel different. Like she just
Mm.
felt different doing the moves and singing it. So I was like,
Yeah.
praise
Yeah.
God.
And didn't
Mhm.
even know that she was singing lyrics,
She didn't know
worshiping
it.
God.
Yeah, she
Right.
didn't.
Right. Right. But her spirit did. Come on.
Yeah. Yes.
But her
Sure
spirit
did.
did. That goes. You understand that psyche of what music can, like he was saying that Lucifer was. That was what he had. He was with the pipes and everything. So there's a purpose that God allowed it, that God created it. He that had him, that there's a purpose for it. But again, he took it to use for something different, right?
Yes.
And he's still doing it today. And why
Yeah.
we're talking about this is because there are young children, and we've all seen it, right? We've all seen young children that worship and young children that are around. You can tell that are exposed to worship, that hear that is what they constantly listen to. And we've seen, most of us have probably seen young children that you can tell that they don't listen to anything but something that's completely negative. You can tell from their behavior. You can tell from what comes out of their mouths. And so, and the songs that you hear them singing, at least I did, even when in first grade in my class, I could hear the children singing songs that I knew that they shouldn't have been singing. So we'll get into that. So Troy says certain frequencies are healing. Christina said, yes, music. And you know what? I want to go back to what Troy said. When she said certain frequencies are healing, and there are also certain frequencies that are, I guess, for the right demonic. Because I heard a guy, and I wanted to find that clip before this, where it was a guy that actually, I was on Instagram, and he wrote music and did the beats for R&B. I don't know if any of you all saw that clip that he
Yeah.
did you see that clip? And this was just
Yep.
last week when I saw that, and he started saying, he was like, no, like there is something behind he talked about the frequencies and the notes and the sounds that they make. There's something behind it. Yes, in hip hop music, right? Hip hop music that they make, that is and he said the word demonic. Like he said the word. He said it is pure demonic, is what he said. And so,
And so that's the thing, and there's sound engineers and stuff. They know how to arrange music because music is a usher. It'll open you. It opens you up. And so that's why even when you hear a jingle or you hear something, even if you feel like you're not listening to it, you'll find yourself singing it.
Yeah.
Because you're open to it. That's just you know what I mean? And so it opens you up to some things as well, but being both positive and negative.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it is true. Like even if you in a store, right, and they're playing something, right, and then you not even focusing on it, but then you might find yourself, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But the right, exactly. Okay. So I see some good comments going on. All right. Go back. Let's see. Okay, Christina. Okay, said yes, music transcends time. I've seen a lot of studies about that too. Thank you. And Katrina says some secular music don't allow. Some secular don't allow their children to listen to the music they produce. Secular artists, right? They don't allow their children to listen to the music that they produce, which says a lot. They know the effect that music has on the listener. I actually saw something about that too, Katrina. So I'm glad you brought that out, right? Because they know the effects of that music on the children, secular artists, right? Okay, Ajada. I'm not even going to attempt to say Sifuni
Mungu.
It's a Swahili phrase that translates to all creatures of our God and King.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Awesome. Thank you. I know Ajada has taught African dance and music before, so thank you so much. Awesome. All right, if you're just joining us, we're talking about the effects of music on our kindergarten through 5th grade children, and join in. If you have any questions, let us know and share this video out. Okay, Troy, we talked about that, about the frequencies in hip hop, and Christina says Pastor G. Craig Lewis has taught. Yes, yes, he has.
Yeah.
Yes, he has. If you all are
Yeah.
not familiar with him and you all want to know like the real the deep dive into the music,
Yeah.
yes, Pastor G. Craig Lewis has taught very powerful messages on this throughout the years. Yes, he has.
Yeah.
And it's been really enlightening for me. Very enlightening for me. Very enlightening, especially when you start talking about the lyrics and how the lyrics are actually like prophecy, and because their words our words have power, right? And so that's a whole nother. But yes,
Yeah.
yes. So thank you for that, Christina. Yes. All right. So let's see where we are. Okay, what about the spiritual benefits of music for children? What about the spiritual benefits? Any of you all can go talk about that. The spiritual benefits of music on children.
Well, I would say definitely. I mean, I can see it on my children. They're used to hearing worship music, and so they just watch. I mean, I can tell their mood by what they say. Right, and you hear the frequency in their voice, and so they'll be running around the house singing it, and it kind of set even the atmosphere in the house. And so I know for them it benefits them positively in that spiritual sense, and that it just kind of set the atmosphere. And so,
one of the things is you were saying, but you can tell and you were talking about how it opens us up. This is an article that said worship can shape the kids' hearts from an early age.
Yeah,
and it says when we're singing to God, music is more than entertainment. It's a way to teach our kids that they have a heavenly Father who loves them and wants good things for them. So I would definitely say one of the spiritual benefits is allowing them, even they may not know the true power in it, but allowing their voice to worship, right? They may not know that when I'm really saying, hallelujah, or God, I love you. Like I noticed that when I'm singing, even if I'm around the house singing, my 3-year-old granddaughter, if I start saying, I love you, Jesus, I worship him, and she begins to sing it, guess what? Faith comes by hearing, right?
Yeah.
She may not know, but her spirit definitely knows what she is saying, right? And by her confessing that and saying that, I would definitely say that that's one of the spiritual benefits, that she's making those confessions that she don't even know how powerful the confessions are.
And so, I just want to throw, because this is one of the points I was going to bring out later, is that 1 Corinthians 14, verse 15, and it's Paul. He's talking about speaking in tongues and all that. But let me read this. It says, so what is the conclusion then? I will pray with the spirit, and I will also pray with the understanding. I will sing with the spirit, and I will also sing with the understanding. And so what he's saying is that you can actually attach your spirit to your singing. Or you can attach, what I'm saying, your spirit to the music. So some of the music that's produced, maybe the words may not be all that, but it's the spirit behind it that created it.
Right.
And so it's the spirit of it, right, that we got to be careful of what is being transported. Right. Because you can put a spirit on it. Yeah, for sure.
I actually had go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. I was just going to say, in terms of that, Minister Jermaine, I think that is part of the deception, right? That, this is not really talking about anything bad, right? But the spirit of how it was made, right? How it was created. I think that, and that's what the gentleman actually was saying on that clip. And I want to go back and listen to it. I shared it with my daughter because I want to go back and listen to it. They said, if you want to listen to the whole thing, because all he had to say, and he did. He said that you look at about whenever it was, how it was created, what's the spirit behind how it was created. It's more than just what you see on the surface, right? And what you hear on the surface, right? So I'm glad you brought that out. I see Katrina said Ephesians 5:19, speaking to yourselves in psalms and hymns, spiritual songs, singing and making melody in your heart to the Lord. Yes, yes. That's what they're doing when our children, the spiritual benefits of worship and song and as unto the Lord at an early ages. That's what they're doing, making melody in their hearts to the Lord. Yes. Christina said, plant those seeds. I still play the old school gospel to this day that I grew up on. I love that. Yes, yes, yes. All right, Whitney, go ahead. You want to say something?
Actually, yeah, I wanted to say I had a firsthand experience, y'all, because I was looking up some music. It's kind of stuck in my head. It's the old Earth, Wind, and Fire song, where there are no words. Right. And I was like, oh, this would be great for, because I'm teaching them head voice, woo, stand in your head voice. So y'all know that song. Okay, so I go and I look it up, and first of all, I see the cover, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's got Egyptians and pyramids and stuff. So I'm still like listening to it. The name of the song is B-E-I-J-O, aka Brazilian rhyme. I never knew that. My dad used to play it all the time in cookouts. So I'm singing. I'm like, first of all, it's taking me back. It's transcending me back.
Right.
It's also making me feel a different kind of way. And I was like, wait a minute. Let me look up what B-E-I-J-O stands for. I look it up, and it is, I don't know the language, but it means kiss. And it has something sexual like attached to it. It means kiss. And I said, oh my Lord. I said, no, I will not be. I said, let me take this. I said, I'm going to have my kids be wanting to kiss, that kind of, them little babies, I'm teaching elementary. But I didn't realize that. And we've been jamming off Earth, Wind, and Fire for years, And so it's like, I didn't realize, like, I was like, oh my gosh, like, even words with, like you said, songs without words. It's the spirit behind. It's the spirit behind it. And yeah, so I that just happened last week.
Yeah, and so I want to touch on that because when you go to Daniel 3, and the Lord just brought this, He brought it to me, is that when the children of Israel got exiled and they were with Nebuchadnezzar and all of that, right? And they tried to convert them over to the Chaldeans and what they ate and what they did and all of that. Well, in the thing that got the Hebrew boys thrown in the fiery furnace was because they didn't respond to the music the way that they wanted them to.
Ooh, yeah.
So I put a cue that when you hear this trumpet, when you hear the satire, when you hear all this, you're supposed to bow down and worship this idol. Now, when you don't respond the way I want you to respond, then I got to destroy you. I got to put you in the fiery furnace. And so it's musical cues that's trying to tell our babies what to do. And so these were God's people, right? And they knew that this music, I'm not going to respond to the music the way they want me to respond. Right. And so they're familiar with music too, because it's used for worshiping God. And so we got to be careful, because you can blend and you can blur the lines with the instruments and the music to sway someone, right? And so we got to be careful.
We have to be careful.
Yeah. And when you were talking about that, Minister Jermaine, I thought about how a lot of times this is how I feel about it. Whoever don't like it, it's okay. We got our own things. But listen, whenever they take secular music and put gospel lyrics to it, it's the spirit. It's the spirit behind it.
It's the spirit.
You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, it's the spirit behind it. Whenever they do that, and it's like, oh yeah, but what are you actually jamming to, right? It's the beat. It's the rhythm, and I don't mixing too. But that's what I just thought about whenever you said that about those cues, and that can be sending mixed messages, to our, especially the upper elementary children, right? That know that this is a secular song that you put in, that now I put that now we put some gospel lyrics, or well, I don't even say we put some lyrics that may sound gospel to it, but your child knows that it's that your elementary child knows that it's a hip hop song or R&B song.
So let me do this, and I may be going super deep, right?
No. Let's go. Okay. Let's dive deep.
I go deep, right. because if you think about what David said, I was born in sin, I was shaped in iniquity, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you think about it, if I think back to my sinful days, because some of that music would take my flesh back.
Right.
Some of the children were conceived to that spirit of that music.
Wow.
And if they were conceived to it, that means it may be some kind of attachment that we got to be careful that when that music might trigger something and take them back to a sinful place that was in the parent. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't know, man.
It's
I'm
deep.
deep. I'm sorry. That's too
no. Like,
you know.
Listen, what y'all think about that? Listen, audience. That, I mean, what are your thoughts about that? Because that is so, it is deep. Because I definitely think that there's a deception, though, in terms of trying to make it seem like it's not all of that, right? Oh, it's not really that. I think that is the deception, Minister Jermaine. Like, no, that we can do this, that there is no effects on, it's not, what he's saying, it's not all of that. No, it's just my child listening to, it's just us listening to that was the right, Ajada, I know. But no, there are, generational cycles of things that try to happen, and the enemy will use anything in any way. And there's a purpose why he would put in somebody's head to try to take this beat. Take this beat. And put some words to it, but still keep the secular beat. There's a reason. There's a reason for that. That he would that he's leading that direction, right?
And I just think about going back to David. Whenever Saul had a distressing spirit, he would call David to come play for him, and that spirit would leave. He would be he would be refreshed. He would, and so if that music could relieve and usher a spirit out under a different spirit, could it usher a spirit in? You know what I mean?
Oh, I do know what you mean.
Saul, I'm sure it could probably bring something back in that, you know what I mean? And so I don't know. That's why our heart beat fast whenever we see Jaws. You hear certain music, you emotionally attach to some sounds.
Right.
Jason, right? It's Halloween, you know what I'm saying? This time of year, Friday the 13th. You hear that sound. I mean, you automatically you know what goes with that sound, and your body responds.
And your body responds to it.
It responds
automatically.
You don't have to do anything. Yeah, you hear that breathing, you already know it's a cadence.
Oh, wow!
Right, and you automatically like, okay, I know what that is. Like, I can attach that to something, and that's fear. I attach that sound to fear. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
No, this is good, because this is where we already into this segment of it. Yes, that is true. I see Katrina says she wanted to ask a question. Do parents still pay attention? Parents that have young children, do parents still pay attention to what their kids are listening to on their headphones or their earbuds? I remember throwing out some CDs back in the day that my kids had. That's a good question. Do parents still pay attention to what their kids are listening to on their headphones and their earbuds? Yeah. How do we use music with our children, and why? Parents, how do you use this is a good question also. Parents, are you listening? And then how do you use music with your children in your home? How do you use music with your children in your home? And then tell us why. Let's talk a little bit, Minister Jermaine, as we were talking about, now we're on the other side of it, right? Let's talk about what are some of the, and then audience, what do you think some of the negative effects? We've asked you about the positive effects. I want to know how you use, I know you all are typing whichever question you choose to answer. How do you use music with your children, and why? But then also, let's dive into what are the negative effects of music on our young children. What do you think some of the negative effects of music on our young children are?
I mean, if you think about it, right? Like, we use music to teach kids. Like, that's how I learned the ABCs. That's how I learned how to spell Mickey Mouse.
M-I-C-K-E-Y.
Oh yeah, baloney. You know what I'm saying? Like I learned how, and so some of those things when I had to memorize stuff for school, I would attach it to a song or to something that's you know what I'm saying, that can help me remember it. But then the flip side of that too is there's some kids who can't read or can't count or can't, but they can quote some lyrics to some songs.
Right.
And so it's taking the place of the things that should be in there and replacing it, right? And so we got to be careful that sometimes the music don't replace the stuff that should be in there with things that the enemy is trying to get in them, right? At an early age, right? Because they're singing some lyrics and some words that they shouldn't even really know what it is, right?
Exactly. And when you were talking about the unseen effects, this is what I read. It says research shows that music can also induce harmful effects, particularly when it comes to rumination. So when I looked at what rumination was, it was like when you're in deep thought and constant thought about something. And when a person dwells on negative thinking or feelings, it can contribute to the development of depression, anxiety, or worsen any existing conditions. So one of the things it was saying is that if there, it was talking about, it didn't say this, but this what just came in my spirit about generational things or generational cycles that anger sometimes, past depression sometimes can be, there are things that can trigger it. If your child is listening to this music that has the lyrics, then it could trigger some things that and awaken some things that may have been just lying dormant, right? And so when it talked about the negative emotions, and it could wake up those negative emotions, and they said, or make it even worse. If they're already dealing with things, it could make it even worse. So what were you going to say?
No, because you see it that like how kids, or really any of us for that matter, fall in love with people who sing to us. You know what I'm saying? Like we're infatuated with artists, with musical artists, and we feel like we know them.
Wow.
And you don't know them. But because I listened to you during a certain time, I attach you to a certain emotion. And so I feel like I need you. And so when I see you, I faint, I cry, I pay whatever money I got to do to come to a concert because now I'm attached to you. You're part of my life.
Right.
And I really don't know you. You know what I mean?
Right.
We're seeing that like now, like with Diddy and all this stuff that's coming out, and people are like, it's no way. It's no way because, no, my affections are tied to you. And now
I think
so I don't know.
No, and that's what I think. That's where the deception is. That if I can draw the affections, I can get the affections of them, and in the mind, right? Yeah. When they are singing, it comes through their mind, right? It comes to their mind, and then it gets down. So in the mind, that's where everything begins, right? In that thinking. As a man thinketh, so is he, right? And so as they are getting and they're saying the lyrics, they remember it. And it's in their mind. That's their subconscious. So subconsciously, that's where things come. That's that subconscious part. And then sometimes whenever they're acting out, or where they're displaying these different behaviors, then it's the subconscious, right? That hasn't even been.
And some of it, you have confessed some things over your life that you didn't know you were confessing.
And that's what Craig G. Lewis talked about whenever those rappers, one of them, I guess, said how he was going to die, and that's how he actually died. And and that's like the confessions that were being made, and I guess they didn't know it, right? All right, so we're gonna go to our to the comments. All right, let's go up here. Okay, Ajada said, man, music can also be detrimental to the brain depending on the message, lyrics, and vibration. Yes,
Yeah.
I read that, and I'm going to talk to. I'll read what I found in that. Katrina said, disruptive behavior and sensuality that destroys their innocence
Mhm.
at a young age. Yeah, yeah, I felt that destroys their innocence. Yeah, that opens up things that they don't even know is being opened up within them, but it's destroying their internal innocence. Yeah. And then creating desires that they're not even aware that they may, that they may have, right? That they might not know, like, this is where, but it's that, and those waking up those desires that we talked about.
Yeah.
Go ahead. What
Yes.
was you going to say? You going to say something, Whitney? Oh, I thought
No,
you.
I was really what I was doing was I was trying to
Uh-huh.
look at some lyrics. I had an assignment one time called Soundtrack of My Life, and I told the
Uh-huh.
kids, if your life was a movie, what would be on the soundtrack? And one boy, now this was back in the day, so I forgot who the artist was, but
Uh-huh.
he was talking about his title would be, I think it says something like Grandma. Let's say it's grandma, but the lyrics, I looked them up because I was like, okay, what are we talking about? So when I looked up the lyrics, it said something about, I don't push baby strollers, I just throw Jordans at them. Like I just had a kids and I just,
Wow.
throw
Wow.
stuff at them, right? So I
Wow.
asked the class, I was like, wait a minute. So we had this
Wow.
discussion. I said, so how many of y'all have fathers that are not in your home and wish they were there? How many of you
Wow.
would rather have the gift versus the day? Like I went in on them. This was a sixth grade class.
Mm-hmm.
I said, so when I said, so we're not talking about the song you listened to. What song described your life? And so immediately they're like, I said, so like, you like basketball. So what's the song about basketball? You're right. It does subconsciously, like their mindset is what they're listening to. Like
Mhm.
they know that's not really what they want, but it's what they're listening to.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
just having them think about that, if your life was a movie, what would be on your soundtrack? And so a lot
Mm-hmm.
of them had to figure out, I don't know what song. I said, well, create the song. you know,
Mhm. Mhm.
like you describing it, and so many of them struggled because they're like, I don't know what describes me. I know what I
Mm-hmm.
hear, so that was just, I was really trying to look at those lyrics, but
Right, right. But when you were saying that, Whitney, the middle schools might know what they want, but those younger ones that are singing that, they don't know what that they don't even know
no,
what it is that they're singing, right? They don't know if they're singing something. They don't even know that I shouldn't want that.
right. Right.
So
Some
that's
of
the
them
bad
actually
part
do.
about it.
Well, being in elementary now, I got one girl, she like I was like having them do different, like, starter positions. So like baseball. And then I mentioned something like track star. And that's a popular phrase. That's a cue.
Uh-huh.
That's one of those cues,
Uh-huh.
Brother Jermaine. Like track star. She's a track star. Like the third grader, she just spit it out. And she's one of the ones that's always saying, I got this music in my head. And I'm like, well, what music? She was like, well, it's really not appropriate. But it's just always in my head. I want to dance.
Wow.
TikTok, all of this stuff. Like she's like infused. And yes, some of them do know it now because
Uh-huh.
they're watching it, they're seeing it. They may not
Wow.
understand everything, but
Right, right.
they know a little bit more because they see it now. They see a lot more.
Wow. Wow. That's good. Go ahead, Minister Jermaine. Go ahead.
No,
Yes.
I was reading what Charity just put in the comments.
Oh, I
Y'all
didn't
seen I
see. So
seen
I
Latoya.
listen.
No, y'all seen Latoya Gibson, and she write how lyrics and chants, that's like, chants and spells that you can say. But Charity said, can I play devil's advocate just for the sake of conversation? We also know we have people living homosexual lifestyles making more than 80% of gospel music. Should we not
Mm.
police that as well?
Ooh.
Yeah, and we talked about the spirit behind it. Ooh, Charity.
Wow. Woo. All right, Mr. Jermaine.
You go.
Oh, look. Wait a second now. Do you see? Wait,
Oh, you
all
didn't
right.
laugh?
So that the enemy got mad. The enemy got mad. But listen, and she said sometimes it's not just the lyrics or genre, it's the spirit behind it as well. Yes. I'm gonna go down, Charity. We gonna come. That is wow. Wow, 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 wow. That is
Yeah.
deep. Okay, so
Okay.
we
I'm back.
there you go. Yeah, the enemy got mad, but listen, because I threw it at you, and he's like, oh, he must in the list cover. Yeah, that's right.
No. I'm back. I'm back for that one.
That's
I'm
right.
back for that one.
All right. Talk to us on that one.
Uh, so yes, you do have to police it, because it could be coming from a vessel of dishonor. It could be. But then also, because it's going to say that people did some works in the name of the Lord, right? There were some good things that were done. Said, didn't we do these mighty works in your name? Didn't we do this? And he said, yeah, but I never knew you. So although it didn't disqualify the work that happened, they were disqualified because of the lifestyle they were living.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so I can separate you from your, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're speaking of my God, I can speak well of my God too, right?
Yeah.
And you can take that music and do what you want to, but in my heart, I'm singing it to the Lord, because really the spirit is to praise God, right?
Yeah.
Now, there are some gospel music that I don't consider gospel music.
Right. No.
Right.
It's not, because if you listen to it, it's really about me. It's worshiping me. It's talking about my feelings and what I'm going through. No, I need music that's talking about him.
Yes.
And leave me out of it.
Yes. Yes.
Because
that's good.
if he's happy with what's happening, then his joy is my strength. Not my joy is my strength. His joy is my strength. And so when I do things that please him, I get my strength.
Yes.
You know
That's
saying?
good. That's good.
Yeah.
And I definitely agree with that 100%. Y'all, we got about 4 minutes. Lord have mercy.
Thank you, Charity, though. That was good.
That was good. That was really good. Okay. So I'm going to go through these comments. I want you all to be thinking, Lord, I don't know if we part 2 coming, Lord have mercy. But listen, I want you all to be thinking what last words that you want to say. There's a difference between gospel and inspirational. Yeah. Yep.
Terrell, that's good. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, she said we need a part 2. Oh, yeah, we need a part 2.
Okay, so where did I leave off at? Okay, Ajada was saying it can put them in a dark place. That some of the music can put kids in a dark place, and that's one of the things it said, that some of the lyrics, the sounds can actually influence like suicide and stuff like that. That was one of the things that in my research that I was reading, that's one of the things. Influence can make them sick, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Yep.
I've seen that.
Yep.
I've witnessed that. Yeah. I've witnessed that.
And you got to be careful, because it's like offering strange fire. You know what I'm saying? It's like trying to go into the temple and give the God what he's not accepting. It's strange fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's judgment that comes back on you for that, for offering up strange fire. So we got to be careful with that.
Yeah. Okay, and then Christina says secular artists, specifically in hip hop, are rapping about murderous and evil things they've done in their music. Their lyrics are literally being used in court cases. Wow.
Yeah, they are.
Wow. I didn't know that. Wow. And Troy said words are spells. Have to watch what you sing and say. Yes. We used to laugh about this. This oldest song that says, I'm going up the rough side of the mountain. And when I started realizing the power of words, I stopped saying this. I'm not going up the rough side of a mountain. I'm thinking that to myself. I'm going up the rough side of the mountain. But I'm saying, we're saying it, right? But we not realizing, because it's just something that we're used to doing. But and when I realized the power of words, I'm like, so now that's why I'm very selective, even in the gospel music that I listen to, because I listen to the lyrics. What is it saying? And I want to say that I'm looking at the spirit behind it, like who's saying it too. Okay, anyway, all right. Okay, we went to charity. Now that's pastors. Eli didn't correct his sons either.
Yep.
Wow. Yep. Woo. Who is their father in the gospel? That's good. Oh, okay. We need a part 2. Terrell. Okay, he said took the words. All right, not the rough side. Yes, Ajana. I want the smooth side. Me too. That's why I stopped singing that song. Okay. Yeah.
And here too, and just for us before we get off, but the Bible talks about that we will give an account on the day of judgment for every idle word that is rendered.
Yeah.
And so even in song, we got to be careful that we're not rendering idle words that we're going to have to give an account for later.
Right.
Yeah. That's good. That's good.
It was a question I had, but I know it's a part 2, so we're gonna go ahead and I was saying because they open up, but listen, this was really good, and I it's almost like we touched the surface, and there's we touched the surface on it, and I think it was enough to definitely you all share the video out. I think it's definitely will give parents, guardians, the village and the lives of our kindergarten through 5th grade children something to think about when it comes to the music benefits and the negative aspects of it. We'll get back. Hopefully, if we have a part 2, we can get back into how we can actually use it and get back into some other different things of when if our children has been exposed. This was my question, and I know we can't get into it now. How do we, if they have been exposed, how do we get rid of that? How do we begin to, because you understand what I'm saying, Minister Jermaine? I know we can't get into it now, but that's where I think the second part of it is, okay, if I have been a parent that I have been exposing and have been allowing, and now I realize this is more to it than just like, and I begin, how do I I guess not even retract, but how do I reprogram? What do I do now? What do I do now? So it's
the same thing we had to do by the renewing of our mind.
But how do we do that for our younger children?
Raise them in the fear and admonition of the Lord. Renew their mind.
Okay.
That's right.
They
won't depart from it.
And that's good, because there could be that somebody listening and say, man, I didn't know this. Right. So what do I do now? What do I do now? So I think a little, deeper dive into that would be good, because for somebody that don't know how to renew, like give them some specific that, what I'm saying, we can't get into, but what are some practicals? There you go. Walk it out with them to help them know, like, this is what you can do. Right. All right. Listen, you all. This is good. I'm going. Minister Jermaine has been doing a lot of speaking. He works with youth. He works with young people all over. And this is like his specialty in taking the word and making it practical. And I love that. That is the gift that God gave him. His schedule is tight, but I do think we need a part 2, right? And I'll have to get with him on a schedule so that we can walk this thing out for somebody that may be listening. I just feel that in my spirit, real heavy, for somebody that may be listening and then now figured that, and now saying, I need to do something different. Like, man, I need to, oh my gosh, I didn't know it was that deep. I thought it was just music. I thought it was just lyrics, like helping them to walk that out. For some reason, I don't know why, but I feel that. So yes, thank y'all so much. I'm going to give them some last words. Ajada says, thank you for this amazing platform. This was a great show. Thank you all for everyone that's joined in. Thank you for your time and your interaction and your comments. Like, this was some really great dialogue. And I think it was one that was really important too. And so thank you. Last words, Whitney, and then we'll let Minister Jermaine. Hashtag music matters. Okay. Hashtag music matters, you all. If you all that are on, go ahead and drop that in the chat. Hashtag music matters. Music matters. Thank you, Christina. All right. Whitney, last words. And then Minister Jermaine.
I'm thankful. I'm thankful definitely to be a part of this. I think for me, just hearing the conversation, that is why it's so important that our children create. They understand they have a power to create. And so that's what we're all about. That's what we're doing over here. So it's not just voice, it's just piano. It is, you're the creator. Now create something. Use the tools you have to create, because we're going to need it in this day and age. It is their weapon. We sing the song, My Praise is a Weapon. And so their gift that God has given them, they have to use that as their weapon, whether it's their pen, whether it's their, just whatever God has given them, they have to use those as weapons and things. So that's just one little tidbit I wanted to leave.
Thank you. Great tip. They're the creator of it. Yes, and they can do it. And for positive, something to benefit them and not strip them away.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead, Mr. Jermaine. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, and it's just, music is one thing, right, of it, but we got to just watch out, see your children, see them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Pay attention, because it could be music, it could be anything in their ear.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so anything that is trying, like you talked about, faith comes by hearing by, but so there's so many things they will believe in according to what they hear.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so my question is, what are they hearing from you?
Wow.
They hear from everywhere else. They hear from music. They hear from their friends. My question is, what are they hearing from you?
Yeah.
And so can your voice that sounds like God's voice drown out all the other noise?
Wow.
Right?
Woo.
Drown all the other noise out by your voice.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
By asking God to give you direction and how to do that. Right. Yeah. So
that's good.
That's his last word. Yeah.
That's good. Yes. Can your voice be heard? Listen, thank y'all so much, Minister Jermaine, Ms. Whitney. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate you all. Listen, guys, we're not going to hold you all up. Listen, until next time, we thank you all. Make sure, go ahead and share this video out. Share with someone to subscribe to our YouTube channel, because it lets YouTube know that this is the content that we want to hear. It gets our video seen. All right. And give it a thumbs up. When you get a thumbs up, this video thumbs up on YouTube, it shares it out. I think people really need to hear this. Parents, village need to hear this. All right. That's it. Music matters. Until next time, remember to, all right.